All right, we have the deciding match of, well, deciding game of Match E. Game 3, and it's going to be on Airfields this time. Once again, we are staring at the author. It is ShadowUltima, the red player in the upper left in the Void Helix one more time.
And in the bottom right, we have Tangibility playing the classic Neo this time, changing up his mech selection yet again. Refuses to play the same one twice.
It does seem that he is content with playing with Ratters more than once, so I bet we're going to see that, especially on a map. This is a pretty close quarters map. I mean, it's pretty square, so it's nicely distributed, and it looks like a lot of stuff is very spaced out, but it's very, very close from post to post. Tangi, as the Neo, will be able to get, you know, pretty far, pretty easily on this map, just like he did with the Striker on Duel.
Still making good use of those bear traps, just laying a couple around in critical spots where you can expect infantry to start funneling through later on in the match. So easy for ShadowUltima to start forgetting about those.
Shadow getting very close, yeah.
Down.
You know, I kind of expected, let's see what ability. He does have Stasis. I kind of expected Tangi to drop with Stasis and try to keep him on the ground, because Shadow did a drop with a Q heal and then a retreat, which was able to save him. But if Tangi locked him on the ground with Stasis, I don't think there was any way that Shadow would have been able to survive that. But it would have required...
That harass is so powerful. They came up with some sort of, I don't know if this is intended or if it's some sort of glitch, but that rapid fire missile and grenade burst just pulls units down so fast.
I think intended implies that there was design thought towards gameplay. I don't know if there was necessarily that. I know it's probably a pretty quick ability to add. I think it is getting nerfed next patch, is what I was told. So there's that. Tangi,
well, both players locking down the corners, but Tangi's got a much firmer hold on his.
Yeah, Ratters. Okay, but Shadow does have a couple of defensive Longhorn there at his fort. Tangi still throwing Ratters away. I'm a little bit confused as to why he's doing it so liberally right now. It did not
really
work.
do a scout. He just kind of threw him out there thinking, okay, the fort's probably undefended, and nope, it was.
Which is kind of funny considering he is a Neo player. It's pretty much free scouts. You don't even really need to cloak. He's so fast that he can take a quick look, and it will only really take about 4 or 5 seconds. Again, going with a single router, gonna force Shadow to divide his attention. Let's see if he can make anything out of this time. Not really.
The lack of turrets is refreshing, though.
Finally, we're
making use of that backstab.
Yeah.
Is
that what it's called?
Cloak, you can. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll start calling it.
Okay, I like that, backstab. I have seen that, but I didn't know if that was the official term for it. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Got a really easy flacker kill, especially with Blade Guardians. And doing it one more time, almost getting some Longhorn killed. Pretty much for free.
That's going to be pretty useful. He's trying to pick off any units that he can, but ShadowUltima is really aware, really keeping track of what's getting harassed and able to save just about all of these tanks.
Pretty much. 21 to 24, so it's pretty even, especially considering that Tangi has 4 bear traps down on the field, so that's already 4 upkeep gone. What does he have in his cargo right now? I really wish. Okay, so he does have Longhorn. Gonna try to just finish off these defensive ones, tanking a lot of that damage, and Shadow coming back here.
Every unit he picks off is critical, though, because Tangi is losing nothing in these attacks.
Pretty much, especially because he's using just his mech for the majority of it. Does leave the Longhorn there. I'm a little bit surprised to see that. I thought he was going to retreat that back. Maybe leave, heal up, come back with a cloak, and just grab it. But now shifting his focus to the mid-fight. And I do want to point out 4 Blade Guardians.
He may not have realized he bought the 4th one.
Maybe. You know, you hit the button a bunch of times, and you kind of don't plan much if you don't need to. So, Tangi dropping with Stasis, so gonna lock ShadowUltima on the ground for a little bit, but Shadow easily gonna be able to boost away and get back to his post without getting finished off.
He has no desire to leave the ground anyway. He'd rather jump back.
I mean, he's so good at boosting left and right, and now both players are going to be harassing, but Tangi with no units. Brute's going down for ShadowUltima, and Tangi not going to be able to keep this outpost under his control, but this is just basically an exchange of units, you know, Tangi losing the jumpers, Shadow losing the brutes. It's they're staying pretty even.
But still, the difference in strength on the corners is tangible.
Okay. Without a shadow of a doubt, I think you're right, ultimately. So, Tangi really staying on top of Shadow right now with those Blade Guardians. I think he's utilizing his cloak really well, too. Flying around with it kind of at any random opportunity. He's not doing something specific.
He's going ahead and moving out of the top right. That's kind of a surprise. I was expecting to see a little bit more harassment towards the bottom left corner, seeing as there's almost no defenses there, and Tangibility's got a really short leapfrog to get there, but instead they're going to focus both their attention on the middle outpost.
Well, I think he was kind of deterred from that. Shadow was there for a lot, and, you know, kept on Tangi, because Tangi started to harass there, and Shadow did kind of like a heavier counter harass, so probably just kind of deterred Tangi from continuing his attack down there, and Tangi probably just decided to shift his focus regardless of how heavy it was.
Finding out a way to spew missiles. Does he have a generator in that pile, or is he just not consuming energy?
It does not take that. Oh, you mean missiles or grenades?
He's shooting missiles and grenades and does not appear to be consuming energy.
Grenades take a little bit of energy. Missiles don't take any, because it's primary fire.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, we do have a lot of infantry going into this outpost for Tangibility. Will be able to take that outpost under his control. Has mid going to harass top with more Ratters. And ShadowUltima is kind of all over the place here, not really able to respond fully to anything Tangi does. And more bear traps.
Beautiful blitzkrieg unfolds as ShadowUltima's lines just start collapsing to Tangi's multi-pronged attacks.
12 to 33, Tangi pretty much has this in the bag, has the majority of the map under his control, bottom left is neutralized, and he's pretty much at Shadow's front door. Pretty much literally.
It's his game to throw at this point.
Although Shadow at level, okay, he's not at too dangerous of a level yet. I bet you he's also put all of his points into, yes, into missile, fire rate burst. But Tangi with the Blade Guardians, doing a lot of damage with that Neo.
The bear traps as well have really been doing a lot of work. Shadow has to personally drop every single infantry that he's trying to put at any of these posts. And his creep count has been cut in half.
I'm a little surprised that people don't just stack bear traps right near the front door, because they do go invisible. Yes, you can put healing units down to disarm them, but you know, you have to put in that effort to do it, and bear traps are just so cheap to apply.
I'm wondering if we'll see Neo's missile redirect come into play a little bit here.
I don't know if they affect. I don't know if they affect anything that Helix does. I think they might affect the air ones, but now that the ground missiles that are primary fire are dumb fire, I don't think they touch them at all. I don't think they affect them at all. I'm
also making good use of the terrain difference, just lobbing grenades over and through buildings.
It's 6 to 38 though, so he really needs to do a lot of work with his grenades and hope that Tangi clumps almost everything that he has out on the field. With Tangi with 3 Longhorn pounding away at ShadowUltima's fort, Shadow will definitely be forced to respond to this, and in the meantime, Tangi will be able to take that last outpost under his control.
So infantry, not the typical defensive response, but those jumpers will do good damage.
Hey, whatever you have in your build queue at the time, that's what you need to drop when, you know, you have tanks hitting your fort. Your fort health is your essence in the game, your life.
So the air-to-ground missiles are definitely affected by that redirect. So ShadowUltima tries to swoop in and do kind of the one-hit kill like he did when Tangi was a saucer, but he can't do it anymore.
So that's one unfortunate. I still don't think the ground missiles will be affected because they are dumbfire now. But losing that ability to swoop in and almost insta-kill a mech is pretty huge.
So this is pretty much game at this point. Tangi just trying to wrap things up and get that last bit of fort damage in.
And I will point out again, this is the kind of situation, this is the kind of scenario that that surrender does come into play. It's so hard for AirMech vets to really do that, though. You know, you're so used to just playing a game out till close, even though you know it's pretty much done. And then there is that 20-second delay for some strange reason that you have to sit through before you can actually end the game. I equated it to a boxer, to like a boxing match. It's kind of applicable here on fight card, yeah. Like,
I mean, sure.
Like, let's just say you surrender an AirMech and you have to wait 20 seconds. Well, you already admitted that there's no way for you to win. So, most likely in that scenario, the
is that just like taking a knee in round 6?
Well, so here's the thing. Here's my analogy. It's as if your corner throws in the towel in the middle of the match, and the ref goes, "Well, you win. Why don't you beat the crap out of this guy for another 20 seconds? I think you earned it."
Yeah, that's just the mech damage to the units is so much, so Tandy keeps trying to throw in these tanks, which would normally be more than enough to finish the job, but they just get picked off so quickly.
And the Gorgon goes down.
The Gorgons. The Gorgon, unblockable damage from a very, very tanky unit. That's going to be GG right there.
Pretty much. And there you go. The last hit by the Gorgon, which I don't think is intended, but it's kind of like a leftover side effect from the survival days. Anyways, guys, we're gonna get into our last match of the evening. It is going to be Killer. Whoa, that was not what I expected to happen, but it is going to be Killer subbed out since he's not here for another player. But it is going to be a 2v2. It's going to be pretty cool. Stick around.